Well, good afternoon, everybody. Great crowd again. Thanks for coming out. Welcome to the Subway Hardrocker Luncheon this week. Hope you're having a good start to your week. Appreciate Subway's sponsorship all season long. Fall season wrapping up. Winter sports getting really cranked up. This is a busy time of year for the Hardrockers, and for a change, we're going to start with football. This team was exciting to watch all season long. I think that's an understatement. A very good program that continues to build under head coach Zach Tinker. Welcome up, Coach Tinker.
Thanks for everybody to come out today. Awesome day for Hardrocker Athletics. I know we're geeked up for this basketball season and what's going on there. Excited to see the winter sports get going and talk a little bit about the wrap up of our season. What a tremendous group of 20 seniors that played their final game on Saturday at Dunham Field. One thing you get to see is you get to see the wins and losses. That's certainly something you can observe. And I wish you each had an opportunity to spend some time with our football team and see the 95 individuals that make up our program. It's a really, really neat group of kids. And they really had a great shared experience this season. Certainly we ended the season with a very poor performance against Western State, a very strong football team that they got after us pretty good on Saturday, and give full credit to them. Certainly if we were at our full capacity, I believe we would have acquitted ourselves better. But we move forward and get excited for the 2017 season, which has really already started. We are on the road right now evaluating prospects. Excited to see what the next crop of Hardrockers looks like. But we did have our season awards banquet on Saturday to recognize our 20 seniors and to recognize individual achievement from the year. And I want to share those award winners with you. Our defensive lineman of the year was voted on by our team was William V. Will is a defensive tackle, interdisciplinary sciences major out of Sacramento, California. We didn't have Will on Saturday. The past Saturday against Mesa, he dislocated his elbow, which is a pretty painful injury. And he suffered that injury on the second play of the game against Colorado Mesa and was unable to play his final game, which is always very, very bittersweet. What a great spirit this young man has. Tremendous contributor for us. We're going to miss him a lot on the interior of our defense. But he is going to stick around and help us in a mentoring role with a lot of our young players, because every player in our program really looks up to Will as a mentor. Next up was our offensive lineman of the year, Robert Schrock, a sophomore, metallurgical engineer out of Mesa, Arizona. A little background on Robert. Robert was the very first player. We compete against Colorado Mines in recruiting quite a bit, or we go head to head against them, I should say. And down in the state of Arizona, and he was the first player that we ever beat Colorado Mines on in a head-to-head recruiting battle. And he has really panned out into a great player. A 2-year starter, had an outstanding season. I do believe he'll get some RMAC recognition for his season, I hope, when it's all said and done. The leader of our offensive line, he has 2 years left to play here. And there's a rumor that his longtime girlfriend is intending to transfer to school here, which makes me happy. That's never bad. Our SWAT player of the year, special teams player of the year is Connor Silvera, running back out of Redding, California. Connor's an electrical engineer. He had an outstanding year at running back. He rushed for, we had kind of a running back by committee. We were with Kevin Thompson, certainly at the start of the season, and then Connor and Dorian Coward as we went along. But on special teams, on our SWAT units, Connor was outstanding, ran down on kickoff. And again, if you ever want to see something exciting, just watch number 6 run down on kickoffs. I wish we'd had a few more kickoffs on Saturday so you could have seen him more, but he's an outstanding player, and he earned that award. Next up was our Sam Cowan Hardrocker Strength Award. It went to David Jackport. It was presented by Coach McGinnis. David is a rock-solid player in all facets of the game, but certainly on the gridiron, but outstanding in the weight room, really leads by example. It's an area where our program has really improved under Coach McGinnis' leadership. And without Coach McGinnis' program, we wouldn't even be close to being competitive in these games, so we appreciate what he's done. David's an outstanding contributor. Our high-octane player of the year went to receiver Marcus Sanchez. Again, these awards all voted on by the team. So his peers recognize him. He's a mechanical engineering major out of Anaheim, California. One of the all-time really great players here. more touchdown receptions than any player in the history of South Dakota Mines Hardrocker football. And he's recognized by his teammates. And one of the elite practice players. You know, practice is not everybody's thing, but Marcus is one of the elite practice players we've ever had. And we really hope that's the template for players in the future, that they will practice with the same energy, enthusiasm, and passion for the game that Marcus did, and we'll be just fine if that's the case. And then our defensive, our rocker dog player of the year, no surprise, senior David Jackpore, mechanic or civil engineering major out of Phoenix, Arizona. David's rock solid, the leader of our football program, overall team captain, and just an absolute stud. Had an outstanding season, finished second in the RMAC in total tackles this season. And again, that's a player who hasn't played linebacker at college one day until about, it was sometime after our first scrimmage in August. We finally moved him from defensive end back to linebacker, and he was second in the conference in tackles, which is impressive. Our captain award went to Darren Weber. We had 3 tri-captains voted on by the team this season. They were the 3 runaway tri-captains. That was David Jackpore, obviously, unanimous, Jacob Sullivan, and then William V. And at the end of the season, those captains selected the 4th captain. So the 3 of them came together and selected Darren Weber. Darren Weber is an industrial engineering major. He's out of Indiana. He's a transfer player, defensive tackle, number 91. He had a great season for us, and they wanted to recognize him as the 4th team captain, which was a really neat award, and was really special for Darren to conclude his career in such a way with the recognition from his peers. So those were the awards we gave out on Sunday. We had a great banquet event. You know, it's always kind of a bittersweet. You send 20 guys away. Now we get ready to groom these next 23 seniors that we have on the roster right now. Now we do have 23 seniors. We have 2 players that could be seniors next year that I anticipate may try to gain an extra year of eligibility back. So by the time we hit it, we'll probably be in that 20 to 21 seniors coming back next year to attack the RMAC schedule. Just as you have an idea of what it'll look like next season, if you take the schedule poster we have right now, you just flip it around. Every single home game turns into a road game. Every road game turns into a home game. That's the exact 11-game slate we will play next season. We will actually open up on a Thursday night against William Jewell out there in Kansas City. So I'm very, very excited for that trip to start the 2017 campaign. So any questions by anybody before we sort of say goodbye to the season and say hello to the recruiting campaign?
So if Sullivan did good and maybe have it next year?
We're looking into it. Yeah, we're looking into the idea that Jacob could have two campaigns to play. It's nothing official yet, but with the way he transferred, it's a possibility. It's a possibility. So the first thing we got to do is get him healthy. He had his ACL surgery a week ago today, and it's his first major surgery. So he's coming around, and it's a tough road to recovery. It's not what you see on TV. It's real hard, tough work. So that's our number one course of action, is getting him healthy. Yeah, Tom.
RMAC teams made the playoffs.
2 RMAC teams made the playoffs. Tom just asked which teams made the playoffs. 2 teams did. Colorado Mesa ended up coming back. Go figure. Colorado Mesa played Azusa Pacific this past weekend. You guys might have heard this story before. Azusa Pacific was down by a couple points. They drove the length of the field late in the 4th quarter. They attempted to go ahead field goal. And the same guy who got us the week before came through, blocked the field goal attempt that would have taken the lead, and Mesa returned it for a touchdown to win the game. I never heard of such a thing. 2 weeks in a row, same guy. So Azusa Pacific actually made the playoffs as a 7th seed, and then Mesa secured their playoff seed, and then Colorado Mines earned a playoff seed as well. And I anticipate Mines will acquit themselves quite well. They're pretty hot right now. They beat Black Hill State 83-27 on Saturday. So I think they were trying to maybe send a message to the committee that they were playoff ready. But I think they're going to acquit themselves well. Mesa's got a very tough matchup against Commerce, and Mines is out Southwest Baptist. But it's very encouraging. And then Colorado State Pueblo finished the season 8-3, outstanding team. It's very encouraging for the conference to have some success against other playoff teams, which then gives the RMAC the vibe that you could have a 2 playoff team out of our conference, which is good for our future.
Coach, 20 seniors, losing 20 seniors. You got a lot of guys backfill. How many guys contributed to that?
Yeah, I think you're going to see the one thing, the areas that are going to be really critical, Nate, we're certainly with Jake coming back, we're going to have one of the better quarterbacks, we believe, in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, which is important. We're going to bring back 4 tailbacks that have had significant playing experience: Thompson, Silvera, Anthony Wright, and of course Dorian Coer. We'll be really good at receiver with Isaiah Manley and Damon Barnes coming back, and some guys coming back from injury that missed some time. Our O-line brings back really some 4 full-time starters. Our defensive line comes back with missing just 2 players. And then our defensive backfield, we return 7 contributors in the defensive backfield. So I think it's a pretty exciting time with the guys coming back. Our recruiting emphasis right now is to gain some size on the defensive line and then create our depth at the linebacker position. That's going to be very, very important for us, and at the offensive line position. So that's where our focus is right now. But I like this team that's coming back. Yeah, Judd.
Quarterback depth?
Yeah, so we will. The question was about quarterback depth. We brought in a mid-year quarterback who's been in the program. So we'll make an announcement on that later. But and then I would anticipate we'd have a second quarterback in spring. But our focus is really on trying to get a high school quarterback, sort of the heir apparent right now. That's a huge focus for us. So we're going to try to get a couple there to try to see if we can, kind of find that next guy. We've had a lot of success at quarterback here over the last 5 seasons, and that's an awesome thing to have. When you have a superstar quarterback, it's a little hard to recruit a transfer who wants to play behind that guy. So we've been really trying to build that from the freshman position. So excited about some of these guys. In fact, there's been some guys who've already been on campus that are freshmen to be. So we're excited about that. Yeah. Me too. Oh, I thought it was a great fall season. There's no question about it. An unbelievable weather season. I mean, and you guys are welcome. Okay, everybody, rock on.
Good segue, Betty, okay? I know you're looking forward to basketball. Now we can talk about basketball, and we're going to talk a while about it, okay? Hardrocker men's coach, welcome up. They kicked off the season in Texas. Now they come back home Friday and Saturday. Jason Hammond.
Yeah, thank you, and great year there, Zach. Obviously, not any of us wanted to finish, but yet it was. She's right. It was fun to watch you guys and all those kind of things, and looking forward to the future in that as well. As far as we go, obviously this weekend we did open up down in Texas against a couple of regional teams. Pretty good teams. I mean, they'll finish very high in their conferences, at least be competitive night in and night out. They got 2 very good conferences. One team won 18 games last year, and the other one's picked in the top half, and that kind of thing. So we went into those games, and it's kind of different for us when we go down there. It's a bunch of athletes. It's totally different as far as how you build your teams, and obviously for us, we're pretty skilled guys and knocked out some shots. We're bigger than a lot of teams, those kind of things. So when we get down to Texas and some of these that we travel all over the country to go play, they're just built different. So we got to make sure that we can handle that a little bit better. We don't see a lot of that within our conference. Metro State's about the only one that will play like they played, but that prepares us. December 2nd, opening day, for our conference, we play Metro. So, hopefully we use this as a good time for, making us better when we do play Metro. As far as the games go, this weekend, we didn't play as well as we thought. That was kind of the encouraging part of it, is we were in both of the games, had good leads. We had an 11-point lead in one of the games, and didn't play very well, and we still had an opportunity to win. on the road with the travel, a few guys hurt, all those wonderful things that you look at and you come back and you watch film. We got a long ways to go. There's no doubt about it. But the simple fact that we were there, had some opportunity against some very good teams, we're excited moving forward. As far as the weekend goes, Connor Koulis, and I didn't even see who got Player of the Week in the RMAC, but he averaged 24 points and 9 boards. So I can't imagine anybody doing a lot better than that, but we did also go 0-2. So another team had a guy that's close or whatever, probably got the award. But great chance for him to go play, some very good talented guys. Did what he does, and basically almost got a double-double again. We're expecting have pretty high expectations for him. The rest of the guys, we played a lot of freshmen. Troy Whitetail was a senior for us that we needed to play in this weekend. He got hurt in the first half and doing well, but first half of the first game, didn't play the second half, didn't play the second game at all. And he's a guy, when you're playing really athletic teams, that he's the one guy that can go play with them. And not having him really hurt us. So we had a couple other freshmen that we had to play, and honestly, they got their feet wet in a hurry. So it was good to see them get out there, do some things. But we just got to keep getting better and looking forward to the games coming up. As far as what we do have coming up, Brad's got the schedule up here. We do play at home this weekend on Friday and Saturday. They are 6 o'clock game on Friday and a 4 o'clock game on Saturday. So be sure to remember the time change from your normal weekends. Then we head over to University of Mary out in Bismarck on Tuesday, and then we're back here with the women on that Saturday, the 26th. At 3 and 5 o'clock. So got some games going on here. It is basketball season. I heard it's supposed to start getting cold out since football's over, and I guess we get great weather during football here all the time. So that's awesome. But now it is cold up, so no reason you can't be inside, and sunny and 70 inside. We'd love to see you all here. As far as our guys go, just introducing, take some time here, introducing our players from this year, talk real quick about them, get questions answered when we're done here, but I'll try to rattle through them as quick as I can. If you got to stop me and just say, hey, what about this kid a little bit more, or come back to that certain one, for sure, ask me those questions. Carlos, a young man, is point guard, a freshman for us. We did bring in 8 guys this year. 6 of them were freshmen. Carlos is one of them. A kid from Texas, right by the Dallas area. He'll be a mechanical engineer for us. He's probably going to redshirt this year, with having 6 seniors and whatnot, but he's a guy that can shoot the ball. Going to be a good leader for the team, strong guy, very, very athletic, can just do a lot of things, especially on the offensive end. We just got to, one of those things with being a freshman and trying to pick up the system. A lot of things going on academic-wise, just your typical transfer into a freshman, and then having some of those seniors, we're good. We're good to go moving forward, but he's a guy that's going to be exceptional in our program. Wilford Dixon, a young man from New Zealand. We got 2 young men from New Zealand this year. He's another guy that I'd love to redshirt this year. I just don't know if we're going to be able to. He's a very talented young man. He's 6'4", 6'5", great mid-game. But just super skilled, and he works his tail off. So I'd love to have him for 4 more years after he gets over that freshman that we just talked about with Carlos, understanding the game. He's very good feel, all those kind of things. But he's a mining engineer, very, very high on Wilford as well. Jay Keith is a young man that comes from Australia. He wants to be a dentist, and is going to be a dentist. He's one of the smartest guys in our program that came in and got a great dental program back home. So that's his goal: come over to the States, get a degree, go back home to Melbourne, and get his dental degree. So, but yeah, he's doesn't look like much of a player out there. The Steph Curry kind of like, where you're 150 pounds, you're 6'1". And the kid can absolutely play. I mean, it's absolutely incredible watching him out there. He uses his body very well, and he can shoot from anywhere. I mean, he'll line up to shoot. When he catches it, expect it to be going up too. I mean, he's one of the guys in our program that has a green light anytime, and it doesn't matter if he's 10 feet behind the 3-point line. He's got the green light, and that doesn't happen in our program very much. And he will let it fly, and it will go in. So excited the things that he can do. He will be playing for us this year. He will be playing a lot of minutes for us. Really stretches the defense, really opens up some gaps for those guys to get in the lane. Troy Brady is another young man from Colorado, from Highlands Ranch, metallurgical engineer. He will be redshirting this year. He led the state in Colorado for 2 years in a row in three-point shooting. As you can see, the theme of this is we needed some shooters this year. You know, we're 4 for 4 right now and showing you guys that can knock down shots. And that was a big part of our recruiting class. He's another one. He's probably going to have to move to the point guard spot just for what we're trying to do and his size and things. And he's got to handle, work on his handles a little bit more. But he's another guy that works incredibly hard and going to have a great future in our program. Logan Ellers, our second young man from New Zealand. He's a metallurgical engineer. He's been hurt all preseason. He got his first action and probably has played 30 minutes of basketball since he's been in practice. And that's not very much when you got a 2-hour practice every day. So he's learning on the fly. Yesterday, he finally got to practice for his first 2 days, but we threw him into the games this weekend. Now, wasn't very good, I'll tell you that, on the first night. He turned it over, he was nervous, all those kind of things. But the second night, we did the same thing, and he already fit right in. So only gave him a few minutes here and there, but he's a guy that, honestly, could be in and out of the starting lineup as a true freshman. But he's filled out pretty well. He shoots the ball extremely well, extremely skilled, and can just do a number of different things. So we're very excited. Logan's in our program, and definitely a guy, once he gets healthy, he'll help us this year as well. All right, Jack Fiddler is probably the surprise of all surprises I've ever had in my coaching career. He came in as a lanky, looks like he's pretty weak, like not very strong, all those kind of things, and he's a 6'4" guy. We didn't know how well he shot it. He broke his wrist last year. Next thing you know, he comes in, and I think I saw him miss 2 shots in the preseason, and he shot a lot. So he can do that, plus the reason why we brought him in here, he's a great rebounder, he's got a great motor, attacks, does so many things on the offensive end, and the kid can guard too. So honestly, he's a guy that we were expecting a redshirt this year. Maybe by the time he's a junior or senior, once he fills out, he might be able to help the Hardrocker program. He's probably going to be starting this weekend. So that tells you the incredible effort that he's put in the preseason, and our high expectations for him as well, and the things that he's done in the preseason. All right, those are our new guys. As far as the freshmen go, our other freshmen that we do have in our program that redshirt for us last year is Tristan Vanetta, a young man from Colorado. He's in our program last year, and he's came so far, done a lot of good things. He's another guy that's going to help us out inside. Just does a great job around the basket of just being big. He's 6'10", he's 230 pounds, and rebounds like anybody does. So he's got a good chance to get some minutes. He probably should have played more on Friday night. Pulled his hamstring the night before, so I didn't play him too much, and we could have really used him. The next night, they went pretty small the whole game. He didn't even get in, but he's a guy that when we have play against those big posts, he's going to get some minutes. Winzel has been in our program for 3 years now. He started on Saturday when we had the injury to Troy. Been playing, bouncing him in and out of the point guard spot. He's shooting the ball extremely well right now, where he didn't knock down very many shots last year. Really struggled at the end of the year, and he came back this year, with the idea that he's going to get a lot of playing time, and he's done a great job of knocking down shots and having that confidence. So he'll definitely be a guy to watch this year. Ross Barney's a transfer for us, a big, strong post kid, another Colorado guy, mechanical engineer, works his tail off, and he's a great confidence booster for a lot of our guys, and just very supportive teammate. That when he is on the floor, he busts his butt, he rebounds, he does some good things with his back to the basket. But like I said, he's an energy guy, and helps out the guys, in and out of the classroom as well. So great teammate as well. Jordan Rude's our last guy that we brought in for this year. Big time shooter. He's out in Wyoming at a junior college there. Starter for them, led them in 3-pointers. Just another guy that's a spot up guy, knock down shots when we need him to. He's going to find his time too. He's another one that, just like our freshmen, when they come in as a transfer, it's the same thing. That first semester, it's just a whirlwind for him, from the classroom to the court. And he's a guy that he's starting to figure things out. Now it's November, and once he does, he's able to get on the floor as well. Pretty much the rest are returners now, so we'll go a little bit quicker. A lot of you know a lot about our guys. Brian Orr's a third-year guy. He's been in the starting lineup from day one this year. 6'5", pretty athletic. He's shooting the ball well. He can just do so many things, especially on the offensive end. His defense is really coming along, especially since his first year, where he didn't know what defense meant. So it's awesome that he can, get in front of guys, and then he can do some things on the rebounding side as well, because he is so athletic. But my expectations for him, he's in the starting lineup right now, and I don't see him, giving up that spot. Jamal Taylor's back. He broke his foot 9 games in last year, so didn't play the last 3 quarters of the year. Really needed him last year. He's a guy that probably gives us 5 more wins. So you have him just alone. And for him to be back on the floor, he's a great leader. He's voted on as a captain this year. Does some great things, on and off the floor. Kid from Milwaukee that's playing the point guard now for us, but he's going to play a lot of off guard as well. Just a shooter, a scorer, definitely an offensive threat. Down there for how athletic those guys were, they couldn't guard him. So it was good to have a guy on the floor like that with Jamal. Connor Koulis, like I talked about him with his weekend, averaged 24 points. 9 rebounds. He was a preseason all-conference player. He was a second-team all-conference guy last year. Once again, he just works so hard, and he's my daughter's favorite. He's everybody's favorite out there. And a lot of it's just because he works his tail off, not because he's a leading scorer every night, not because he does this, he does that. He's on the floor. He's just busting his butt. He just wants to win, and he'll do anything he can. And obviously, it's nice to have the talent that he has too. So. It's good to have Connor back in the program one more week, or 1 more year. Not a week. I didn't just say that. Knock on wood or something. All right, Joe Newkirk. He's a young man, tore his ACL last year. Really came along right before he got hurt. Only played in a few games again last year. He's still a little bit dinged up right now. Didn't play this last weekend, but he's a guy that's just super athletic. We can do some different things, especially ball screen wise. Throwing it up on the rim and just let him go dunk it. So, he's a guy that we need to have out on the floor for us to have all the, pieces. But he's a guy that we're kind of trying to get to conference season so he can play his 5-10 minutes a game while we are in conference. Troy White, too, he's one that, like I told you, from this past weekend we could have really used. He's probably as good a guy in the country, not just in our conference, in the country, at getting to the basket. He's just got an explosive first step that just nobody can guard. He's shooting the ball a lot better this year. So he's got to be a guy that they got to go out and guard a little bit. But even if they don't, he still can get by guys. And he creates so many things. When we have our shooters now, the gaps are that much more open, and he's a guy that can get in those gaps. We need to get him healthy. Sprained his ankle to start there in the first half. Second half, played about a minute because his ankle was good, and got rolled up on his other ankle, and that one wasn't as good. So now he was out the rest of the time. His first ankle was good. But, I think he might be ready this weekend, but we could use him, that's for sure. And the last couple here, Marco, a young man from Italy. He was with us last year, had a great second half of the year. He's what we talked about with those couple transfer guys and the freshmen, that they really struggled that first semester. I wouldn't say he really struggled, but he wasn't the player that he could be that first semester last year. Second semester really came along and knocked down shots. He's your typical European kid that can do so many things with the ball. He's so skilled, passes extremely well, and can knock down shots. So he struggled this weekend. He was sick, but I don't know if that had a lot to do with it. I think just he got rushed a lot of times with the athleticism and things. But he knows he didn't play as he's capable of playing this past weekend, so I expect him to have a great weekend, and then of course a great conference season for him. And Tyler Schoening, he's another one. He's been hurt the whole preseason, sprained his ankle in a scrimmage, I think the 5th day in, but he played this weekend. He's back to about 90%, so we hopefully will have him and take him up nice and tight with our athletic trainers and get him through the year. He's had bad ankles. He was hurt basically all last year. And just fought through it, and he's a young man that we need to be successful. And that's it. I tried to ramble through real quick with our guys, but any quick questions for the guys that are in our program and looking forward to this weekend? All right, good. We'll get Ryan up here, and he can be faster than me.
Good luck with that, Coach. Good luck with that. I'm looking forward to the weekend watching Coach Henry and the guys get out here. Welcome up. Women's head coach will flip the script, head coach Ryan Larsen.
thanks everybody coming out. Coach Tinker, great year. Again, said it every time I've been up here this year, but just had a joy watching you guys play this year. Tough way to end it, but yeah, injuries will definitely do that. I got to start this thing off. Last week I took a cheap shot at Jason. Felt really bad about it afterwards. I want you guys to know that I did call up Jason after that. We talked about it, and really we both agreed that I wouldn't beat him by 50 yards. I merely 25. So we're good. Glad we talked about it. We're on the straight and narrow again. So glad we got that taken care of. I did feel bad about that all week. But hey, this week's Hardrocker Luncheon shout out. Again, I made a mistake. This goes out to my father-in-law and mother-in-law in Marshall, Minnesota. I think they were a little upset with me that I didn't give them a shout out first. And I wasn't thinking ahead. They're coming to my place next week for an entire week. And I need them on my side, that's for sure. They spoil me rotten. They really do. They're great in-laws. But Hardrocker shout out to those guys this week. Yeah, I traveled down to Mexico this past weekend, and two funny games. I really still try to wrap my head around it. We dominated both games, but we just had a couple really bad dry spells in both of them that both teams made us pay. Kind of a funny trip on the way down. We had a young lady sick in the back of the bus who, it wasn't a good situation. We're kind of passing around a flu bug right now. And then on Friday, Taylor Molsted's kind of been battling a hip flexor type deal again that she had last year, and started off the game. She wanted to give it a go, and I think she played 6 total minutes. And first time she touched the ball, she banged home a 3, got an offensive rebound next possession, and then just kind of slowly got worse from there. Tried to let her go again in the second half, and it just wasn't happening. So that was unfortunate. Obviously, Taylor's a big weapon for us, and she wasn't able to play at all the next day. But then I tell you what, Marissa Herkett was just phenomenal on Friday. She had 18 points, pretty close to a double-double. Just a fantastic game. And then lo and behold, that night she fell ill as well. Wasn't able to eat. Was able to pound down some toast Saturday morning at breakfast, and then just she played Saturday, but it was just totally on fumes. And just wasn't able to produce the way that she was the day before. So kind of a funny trip that way. Battling some just strange illnesses and injuries, stuff like that. But regardless of that, I tell you what, that game Friday, we played a really good team. Jason alluded to it very well. When you go down to different parts of the country, you see totally different teams, and that's what we saw as well. Eastern Mexico, really athletic team, a number of Division I transfers down there. We really dominated that game. We did. We're up 5 points with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and just made some costly errors. We lost their one shooter and kind of got her rolling a little bit, and we were able to stretch into overtime. Marissa made a big time 3 for us. Heather Rogers made a big shot for us to get us into overtime, and took the lead in overtime for the first couple minutes. We were down 1. We had a timeout. We called a timeout. We dropped the play. Had a great look. Matter of fact, had a layup. Missed it. It was one of those shots where, if you've seen me coach, I was mid-jump when she caught it and shot it, mid-air, thinking, yeah, we got this. Missed it, and straight down. But I tell you what, we really battled. We had a tremendous effort. Really happy with our kids. But what we got to get to now, all right, and what we say in our program, there's no losses. It's all learning experiences. And we have to learn to finish games. And that's exactly where we're at right now. Very similar to Saturday's game. Very athletic team, good program, really good players. We're up 9 with 8 to go in the game. And it seemed like this was a strange game. We'd stretch a little bit, they'd call a timeout, they'd make a little run, here come a immediate timeout, we'd stretch it again, there'd be another timeout, they'd shrink it. It was just back and forth like that the entire time. So we stretch it to 9 points with 8 to go, they call a timeout, we make a little run. We're down 1 at the immediate timeout, the last immediate timeout in the fourth quarter, and I'm feeling really good because, all right, now it's time to make our run. We just couldn't put it together for some reason. We just had a really poor 8-minute stretch there where, offensively we turned it over. I think we had
shoot, 9 or 10 turnovers alone in the fourth quarter, ended up with 23 in the game, and they capitalized on it. And then we had some defensive breakdowns as well that they really made us pay for. But, you know, besides all that, really, really pleased with the way we played. That's hard to say when you're coming off the weekend going 0-2, but just tremendously pleased with the way our kids played and executed. We followed the game plan very well. Had some really outstanding individual performances. I talked a little bit about Marissa Herkett, her game on Friday. She was phenomenal. Peyton Humble, I felt bad last week. Peyton Humble played really well against Utah and Wyoming as well, and I failed to mention that, but she was excellent down there against Eastern New Mexico and Texas El Paso as well. And that was great to see. You know, Peyton, she wasn't able to touch a ball all summer long. You guys saw her play last year. She was playing, you know, basically with one arm, a torn labrum in her shoulder, and she had surgery about a week after our season was over, and wasn't able to touch a ball. And she came back and she was cleared to go once school started, and man, without being able to practice and do a whole lot over the summer, she's done a fantastic job. So that's a really, really bright spot for us. Then a number of other really good performances as well. But again, really pleased with the way we played over the weekend, and just positive signs. There's so much more positive coming out of that weekend than negative that just really has me excited about what this team has potential for in the future. And that one thing I really want to point out is this team, they know, they get it. You know, I talked to a lot of the upperclassmen on the way home, on the bus ride home Saturday after the game, and it wasn't just that they were saying all the right things, they knew it. And as a coach, to hear that coming out of their mouths was really refreshing and enlightening for me. It really got us going in the right direction as far as positivity. But that's it for the weekend. We're going to Sioux Falls this coming weekend. We got the University of Sioux Falls on Friday. They played the national tournament last year, which is going to be a great challenge for us. A number of players coming back from the team that played in the national tournament. So it will be a fantastic game. And then on Saturday we have Southwest Minnesota State, Saturday afternoon. So, you know, two good quality Division II opponents from what I like to call the Big Bad Northern Sun Conference, which a lot of people, you know, they probably say that's one of the better Division II women's basketball conferences in the nation. So that's going to be a good challenge for us. Yeah, here it is, the schedule. We already got those first two crossed off. This coming weekend we're in Sioux Falls, and then we got our first home game against Montana Billings, a nice doubleheader with the men. Looking forward to that. And without getting too far ahead of ourselves, Billings is a fantastic program as well. And you can kind of see really just how much I think of this team with the schedule that we put together this year. You know, all Division II games, and so we're really challenging ourselves as far as the schedule goes. All right, Brad, you want to move on to the players? I call her Samuel. Sammy Stefik, point guard, Fort Collins, Colorado. As you can see, Sammy was a really good get for us. We beat a number of Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference teams on her, which is a good get for us. She has started. Well, yeah, she started every game for us so far. We're starting her at the off guard a little bit, and then rotating our guards in. She'll back up Krista as well at the point guard. She's a big time player, ladies and gentlemen. She can really play. You know, we've talked about kids that can go get your own shot and make just all kinds of different plays, and that is her. She's going to be fun to watch. She had a pretty good game on Friday. Saturday looked a little bit more like a freshman, but and she knows it, and she's determined to be a really good player for us, and we're excited about her. Cooper Courtney. Coop comes from Kansas City. By far one of the better shooters we have in our program, if not the best shooter. She can really, really stroke it, and kind of like Jason was talking about with Jade, she's got the green light. It doesn't matter where, 25 feet, 26 feet, she can make it. She'll let you know about it, which I kind of appreciate, kind of having that swagger. But a really good player. We do have to find, you know, we're a little injured ourselves right now. We'll get to her here, but Mackenzie Becker, we've lost her for the year to an ACL tear. So, you know, obviously Kenzie was going to get some time this year, so we got to get Cooper ready to go. Anna Haugen, another freshman from Fort Collins. It seems like we're kind of like the Fort Collins All-Stars right now, but that's been a great spot for us recruiting. Anna's, she's kind of the hybrid player, 5'11", probably playing a little bit more forward than right now, but can definitely play the guard as well. Just a tremendous blue collar kid. You need a rebound, she's going to get a rebound. Knocked down a 3 Saturday for us. Really skilled player, can score in the block, put on the floor, attack the rim, and pretty close to one of our better rebounders right now, but in the future she will definitely be a lockdown defender as well. We're really excited about this kid's future as well. Molly McCabe, freshman. You guys are going to like watching this kid play. By far the best athlete that we have. You know, we like to play fast, and the easiest way to play fast is to run hard. And this kid not only is just athletically gifted as far as being able to sprint the floor, but she runs hard. And we have it statted in every game that we play, including our exhibitions. Against Utah, the fastest team that we'll play by far all year, she out-U'd the Utes. I like to say she outran Utah a couple times for layups, and she's done it against Wyoming. She did it against Eastern New Mexico. She did it against El Paso. Just extremely fast, and she was able to go up and get rebounds over those Utah kids. A really gifted athlete, a little raw skill-wise basketball as far as her skills go, but she's going to be an exciting one to watch. And she's been every game, every practice, she's gotten a little bit better, and you'll be seeing her quite a bit this year. Taylor Molstead, very familiar with her. If you guys watched us play last year, very unfortunate we didn't get a chance to play her this weekend, but big time weapon for us, offensively, defensively as well. Most likely she'll draw the opponent's best offensive player, defensive assignment wise, but spent a lot of time this summer working on her game. She's really developed a really good pull-up jump shot, which is, in my opinion, the hardest thing to guard, especially in women's basketball. And just spent a ton of time with Coach Miguez in the weight room, and you'll be able to see that too. Her speed and vertical leap. She was a really good athlete before, but now she's exceptional. Again, Coach Miguez did a fantastic job with her, but we got to get her healthy. She's just a big time weapon for us, and once we do, looking forward to it. Megan Shoemaker, sophomore for us, providing really good depth for us in the post. In my program, I like to carry 6 posts at least. I think it just helps you so much with practice. She has really improved. Again, another kid that worked really hard over the summer, doing a good job for us in getting our starting rotation better, but making our practices and just making us better overall. Marissa Herkett, we didn't get missing a whole lot of time last year, and watching film this summer and evaluating ourselves, I really kind of not just kicked myself, but threw my head against the wall a few times why I didn't play her more last year. But again, worked extremely hard this summer, and you'll see just a different player this year. She was a stud defensively, just an absolute stud defensively for us last weekend, and scored in all varieties. Hit a couple threes, scored big time buckets on the block, got to the free throw line, hit a couple mid-range jumpers. She's turned herself into a really good weapon for us right now, and another kid just continues to get better and better and better. She's got a bright future. Kenzie Becker, yes, unfortunately we have lost her for the year. She is scheduled to have surgery on Tuesday. I feel really bad for Kenzie. Last year she missed about 8 weeks with a stress fracture and has really yet to play an entire year. So obviously her year is done this year. I really like Mackenzie, really like Mackenzie. She is one of our best teammates. She goes hard in practice every day. If she plays or not, she never complains. She just gets us better, and just a fantastic young lady. And very disappointing there, but as our kids know, one goes down, next person's got to step up and produce for us. Sarah Rawlings is a junior college transfer from Sheridan Community College. She was our starting point guard there for 2 years. Great young lady. That smile that you see in Sarah's face, that thing is permanently cemented on there. Practice, I may say something to her, a little condescending or whatever, and she's just going to smile right back at me like that. Sometimes I wonder if she knows what I'm talking about. But what a great kid. Just a high energy kid. Again, just makes our practices so much better. Real high IQ. Can get to the rim and make passes that a lot of our players can't do. Excited about, just really happy that Sarah's joined us. Krista Showalter. Krista is healthy this year. 2 years ago tore ACL, and last year she was playing in a brace and then actually kind of re-injured that knee a little bit and had a scope at the end of the year. She is free from that brace and strong again, and just has a really good burst of speed about her again, and playing with a great tempo right now. That's one thing. Made baskets, missed baskets. She is sprinting the court and getting us in transition and half-court offense. And again, a kid that I didn't mention earlier, but I felt really had a great weekend for us as far as doing what we needed her to do. She guarded their best player on Saturday and did a great job there. But she initiates our offense, and that's probably our biggest sign right now, our biggest bright spot as far as us getting into early offense and finding broken baskets and stuff like that. She's doing a heck of a job for us. Peyton Humple, yeah, I talked a little bit about Hump already. Man, it's great to have a healthy Peyton Humple. Really shot it well. Defense wasn't Peyton's greatest strength past couple of years, but she has really dedicated herself to becoming a better defensive player and rebounding. Turning herself into a complete player. First couple of years, she was just kind of more of a shooter from the arc, but knows she's got to do a whole lot more to be a better offensive player. She hit a couple pull-up jump shots this weekend that were just beautiful. Got to the rim a couple times. If you could turn yourself into a complete scorer that way, you're just going to be that much more harder to guard and help us obviously offensively. And she has definitely done that, which is just a great bright spot for us since she wasn't able to pick up a ball all summer long. Stacy Hall. We're in a bit of a quandary right now with Stacy. Again, last year she hurt herself. I believe it was mid-January, had a knee injury. Spent the entire summer. She was in town this summer, rehabbing and getting stronger, dedicating herself in the weight room, and really worked hard. And it's just unfortunate that the knee has not gotten better. We're contemplating redshirting her right now. We're talking with the training staff about what steps we need to take as far as surgery for her. That's a big loss for us, because Stacy was definitely penciled in. You know, if she wasn't going to start, she was definitely going to be our first post off the bench. And you know, Stacy she's the kid that does everything right, is what it is on the basketball, and off the court, but on the court as well. Probably one of our highest IQ kids. It makes us better offensively and defensively with her rebounding. That's a big loss for us, but she'll come back and be just fine for us after a year of getting that knee healthy. Karina Russell, I tell you what, I'm proud of all of my kids, but this young lady, Russ, had an unfortunate departure from our program 2 years ago, I believe it was now. And last spring she came to me and wanted to walk on because she wanted to end her college career on a high note and be able to play the game that she loves. And she's a walk-on for us right now, and just a fantastic young lady. Her wanting to come back and finish basketball just speaks to the type of person that she is. Again, just makes us better in practice. Tremendous attitude, is an absolute force down the weight room, and just a great kid to be around. She makes us better in all facets of our program. Heather Rogers is a senior captain for us. Heather played a lot of time for us this weekend and did a really good job. Kind of like Sarah, I talked about, Heather can really attack defenses with shot fakes into the paint, and she always makes the right pass to other players. Really heady, high IQ player, and kind of a gifted scorer. Scores in just different ways. But Heather was voted captain by our team, and I couldn't be prouder of a kid to be elected captain, because at this point last year, Heather was struggling, and she'll be the first to admit that to you. Just trying to find a way to fit in, with our team, academically, stuff like that. And all the credit goes to her, where she just kind of flipped a switch, and she was going to make a really big effort. And she's our best teammate right now. She's the one kid I've ever been able to coach where it doesn't matter how mad I am, practice, game, whatever it is, she can say something to me, and I'll start laughing. That's a tremendous quality to have. She's just a fantastic young lady and a really good basketball player. Megan Rohr. Megan was voted Defensive Player of the Week this week by the RMAC. Again, Megan has worked extremely hard on her defense. She has never been a superb defensive player. She'd be the first to admit that to you as well. She's worked hard. She had 10 rebounds our first game. I forget how many she had her second game, but she had 7 blocks total on the weekend. Just a extremely great performance out of her defensively. And there again, Megan, she was injured at the end of last year, and she was ordered not to pick up a ball all summer long. She was able to do some physical therapy, work out a little bit, but she couldn't necessarily do any basketball activities. By the time she got back, thankfully she was cleared to do basketball, so she's slowly working herself back into it. I don't know how many people have asked me, wow, Megan Rohr went 1 for 15 on Friday. That'll never happen again. You know, Megan is still finding her way back into, basketball, just moves. The shots she missed were right there. I thought they were all going in. Her timing is off just a hair right now, but she will be just fine. And she knows it. I know it. Our team knows it. She will never go 1 for 15 ever again. She'll be just fine. But she looks good, really good. The most impressive thing with me is how well she's playing defensively right now. Hey, Coach Baumlander, here she is, our new assistant coach, Coach Baumlander. We talked about her a couple weeks ago. Yeah. You're doing a fantastic job. That smile there is always on her face, which has been really fun. Doing a great job. I tell you, it's never easy coming from playing to being an assistant coach. She has done it seamlessly. She has the girls' respect. She has done everything as far as we need program-wise. I talked recruiting a little bit, but a fantastic job she's doing there. Our 2 trips have been flawless, and on and on and on. What a great addition. We have hit a home run there. Dallas Richter, I talked a little bit about Coach Richter a couple weeks ago as well. We stole him from Rapid City Stevens. All right, one man's junk is another man's treasure, and he's definitely a treasure for us. He has added a ton for us as far as X's and O's wise go. He's coaching our post players. They are getting better with all the knowledge that he brings. And again, I'll say it one more time, it's great just to have another dude around. Grad assistant Mackenzie Kenny, Mac played for us my first 2 years here. I've always said she's one of the smartest players I've ever coached, and she's carrying it over to the coaching role as well. Just a tremendous help for myself and Hope, and just all the little things that we need her to do, and she's a heck of a coach on the floor as well. All right, that's what I got. Really excited about the challenge we got coming this weekend. Still obviously a little disappointed with the outcomes of last weekend, but I tell you what, there are so many more positives than negatives from last weekend that we are really excited about the direction that we're going. Any other questions for me before we get out of here? Talked long enough, huh? All right, thank you very much. Talk to you next week.
All right, now we're ready for basketball. As we wrap things up, I want to remind you, home Friday night, 6 o'clock, Coach Henry takes on Grace College. Saturday at 4, it is Johnson and Wales. And next week, we're not going to have a luncheon. Coach Henry's on the road, and I know Coach Larsen could cover the whole hour. I absolutely believe that, but we're not going to give him the opportunity, okay? So we're going to skip Thanksgiving week, and then we'll come back the next week. So we'll see you this weekend. Congrats to Coach Tinker on another great season. Thanks for coming.